Let's get reaction to the story now. We're joined by Omphile Maotwe, the EFF's Treasurer General, who's joining us in studio. Thank you so much for your time. Listening to you there, you are not surprised that this ruling was made?
Look, the judge was sober and solid, and we want to thank him from the beginning. But what we liked is the fact that he argued the law, the judge, and based his judgment on the law. And I mean, they can say whatever they want to say, AfriForum, really, there's nothing that they're going to get. I mean, judge started with Mr. Roots, who was supposedly an expert, and he dismissed his evidence, and he went for Ms. Mela, he went for Mr. Prinsloo, who came in there and said he had a robbery. So how is the robbery linked to singing of the song? There was no link. But most importantly, that case was even 2008, even before the establishment of the EFF. So we're quite happy, we're quite excited. It's a win for our people. It's a win for the country. It's a win for the black majority who are oppressed, who are discriminated. It's actually shocking that AfriForum will go to court to ask court to declare that song a hate speech and a discrimination. I mean, who's been discriminated against ever since? We're living in democracy, of course. We got this from apartheid. They came here with discrimination. They discriminated against black people. Black people were excluded from governance, from the land, property, and many other things. So it can't be them who are saying they feel discriminated when singing of the song. We remain discriminated, by the way, because they still own the land. The majority of the people of South Africa who are black do not own the land. The white minority owns the land. That on its own is a discrimination.
They're saying they're going to appeal the decision, and that is going to take place during the course of the coming days. Are you confident that a higher court will still rule in the EFF's favor?
Firstly, we're not surprised that they would want to go and appeal it. It's white supremacy. Of course, they are within the law. You'll argue that they're within the law to do whatever they want to do. But they know that there's no case. I mean, even when listening to Roots, he's just arguing things that don't exist. The judge was based on the evidence that was given. It's them who brought their witnesses. It's them who laid evidence there in court. So we are not shocked. What they are hoping for is possibly a white judge somewhere along the line, maybe at the appeal, or even they will even take it to SCA, we don't know, maybe even to Constitutional Court. But they are hoping that at some point in this journey, they will find a white judge who will rule in their favor. There's no sober judge who will rule that Dubuli it's actually a hate speech. So
I take it then you are dismissing their argument, that they continue to make even through their statement that says that, this sets a dangerous precedent and it's encouraging the gruesome murder of a certain group based on their identity. They're arguing that the ruling also proves that the political order in South Africa has become radicalized, and they say it's especially against a minority. I'm listening to you. You're dismissing this.
That's actually racist for them to say that. They are confirming that they are a racist organization. We are the one who are discriminated. We are the one who remain oppressed today. We are not taking any gun and killing white people. We are not. They are in power by virtue of them owning the economy of this country. Look at the high levels of unemployment in the country. I mean, just yesterday, the statistics came, 33% unemployment in the country. Look at the levels of poverty in the country. Look at the levels of corruption in the country and crime in the country. It's because of the inequalities that we find ourselves in this society that is created by the same system that we are fighting against. So they can't say, it's actually confirming that they are a racist, right-wing organization that just wants to, everything must be white. But unfortunately, this is a democratic South Africa, and we're going to fight. We're going to use the courts because courts are part of the democracy.
Omphile, if you may allow me, I mean, on this one end, you are celebrating, but on another end, there are people that are criticizing the EFF for calling for the removal of the Limpopo Health MEC, Poppy Ramathuba. They say that you are not addressing the issues that she's talking about there, and you're simply saying that she should be removed as MEC. There's now a probe that is going to, of course, take place. But how do you respond to that? Because you are coming under fire from some who are saying that you should not even be picking this battle.
So the MEC is speaking from the position of power. She's the MEC. She makes things happen. There's a patient who's fighting for her life. who's depending entirely on the health system to assist her to continue living and feeding her children and raising her children. Now, it can't be. It's wrong. It's ethically and morally wrong. But also it goes against the medical association principles. So we are saying, we as leaders, of course we need to address issues. But a patient, what do you expect the patient to do? She's dying. She's on a sick bed, trying for help. She's now telling her that Mlangano is not giving her money. What must she do, the poor patient? What must she do? By the way, the constitution of this country is very clear to say anyone and everyone, legally or illegally in this country, deserves human rights and deserves to be treated at any healthcare facility. It's our constitution. That's what we she took an oath of office based on the same constitution that today she's peeing on. So she must be removed. Actually, if she had a conscience, she would have just resigned. She would have apologized. It's even more painful because it's said by a woman during Women's Month. These are some of the things that were fought for during 1956 Women's March. But we are saying, maybe she will find herself. There's still arrogance, a lot of arrogance, because I see that she's getting a lot of airtime. But I think she finds herself, I think her organization calls her to order, and then she finds herself and then resign.
So I'm told I'm out of time, but I can't let you go without asking you this. The EFF had said that it was never going to vote with the ANC. Things are changing. Why?
Why do you say things are changing?
Because now we're seeing the EFF saying that it is willing to talk to the ANC.
So the ANC, Gauteng and the ANC KZN wrote letters to the EFF, and then they are seeking for a meeting, an audience. We're going to go to a meeting. And then in the meeting, we're going to discuss. But we can't fold our arms when things like the mayor of Tshwane is doing as he pleases. I mean, how do you go and instruct officials on what to do?
What changed?
So Randall broke the oath of office.
No, not even
so
Randall.
So we are saying you must go. So if you mean voting with the ANC to remove the mayor of Tshwane, we're going to do that.
Not even to remove the mayor of Tshwane,
yeah.
But I was reading even an article where in News 24, your leader says that, you know, for example, he says Paul Mashatile would be a better president. He's willing to work with the ANC under Paul Mashatile and rather that than the DA. So what changed in the thinking of the EFF to now say that you want to go there with the ANC, a party you said you didn't want to?
No, he's saying he'd rather work with Paul Mashatile than Ramaphosa. So he's comparing Ramaphosa to Mashatile. Mashatile is the better devil. That's what he's saying. And we agree that Mashatile is not accused of Pala saga, of keeping money in his mattress. There we have a president who's sitting with money in the mattress. There you have a president whose minister is allegedly attempted to rape a woman. He's not saying anything. We are sitting with a sitting president currently who the country is out of hand. Look at the levels of crime. Look at the shooting at taverns. Look at the abuse of women and killing of women and torturing of women and killing of children. Where is the president? What is he doing? So that's the comparison to say, instead of having this Ramaphosa, let's have perhaps Mashatile. He's the better devil. Let's give it a try.
Talking about Pala, we're ending off. The probe is now going to sit in Parliament. The Speaker saying that it will have 30 days and the parties now have until next week, Thursday, to submit the names. The opposition parties had expressed unhappiness with this particular process of the independent panel. But where do you stand now, given the fact that you've been given until next week, Thursday, to submit the names and it has 30 days to see whether or not the President has a case to answer here?
No, we will participate. So we will participate in that process. We're going to submit the name of the person that we think must go and serve in the independent panel.
Have you decided on the name?
Not yet. We'll announce in due course. But we're going to do everything and anything that will help us to remove Ramaphosa. So it's not just that committee of speakers talking about. It's also the motion of confidence that is coming. It's also the impeachment that was put in Parliament right now. So we want anything. We're going to follow the law and we're going to use the law to remove Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa is going to be removed.
All right, Omphile, thank you so much for your time. I wish we had more time, but time is always the enemy. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. That's Omphile Maotwe, the EFF's Treasurer General.